UFOs once took control of nuclear missiles, nearly caused World War III, congressional testimony states. Launch control codes were somehow entered, and the base was unable to stop it. This is on WND from Jerusalem Post. Russian fighter jets once fired at possible extraterrestrial life forms after a pair of UFOs nearly caused World War III to break out, according to sworn testimony shared on Congress obtained by Fox News. The testimony was given by George Knapp, an award-winning Las Vegas-based journalist who has already reported on UFOs, now known as UAPs, and the alleged conspiracies surrounding them. According to Knapp, there was a time when the Russian military actually deployed fighter jets to fight on UFOs following an incident that nearly pushed the world into globe-spanning nuclear war. So it wasn't only on U.S. nuclear bases that these missiles almost took off. It was also at Russian bases as well. So it appears that UFOs want to control of the Russian ICBMs. Did aliens nearly cause the Earth to be consumed by World War III after antagonizing the Russian missile base in Ukraine? Did Russian fighter pilots die fighting UFOs? Now, how did the UFOs clash with fighter pilots take over the ICBM base? In the testimony, Knapp said Russians carried out what may have been the largest ever UFO investigation in history, spanning a decade and the entire breadth of the Russian military echelon. He said he had spoken with Russian military officials, Colonel Boris Sokolov, who said that there has been no less than 45 different incidents where Russian fighter jets had clashed with UFOs. 45, can you imagine? With Russian jets crashing in 3 of these incidents, resulting in the deaths of 2 pilots in clashes with these UFOs. One incident that really raised alarm bells was at a Russian ICBM base in Ukraine, and according to Sokolov, the UFO somehow took control of the launch system. Knapp says UFOs appeared over the base, performing astonishing maneuvers in front of stunned eyewitnesses, and then somehow took control of the launch system. The missiles were aimed at the U.S. and were suddenly fired up. Can you imagine? What were they trying to do? Launch control codes were somehow entered, and the base was unable to stop what could have initiated World War III. Then, just as suddenly, the UFOs disappeared and the launch control system shut down. After these incidents, the Russian Defense Ministry supposedly issued hands-off order for UFOs, which they said should be left alone since, quote, they may have incredible capacities for retaliation, end quote. All of this is alarming enough, but it also flies in the face of U.S. claims has made about UFOs since the late 1960s. Knapp wrote, since 1969, the position of our military has been that UFOs pose no threat to national security and are not worthy of further study. This dismissive attitude is directly at odds with what was revealed in documents, reports, and internal memos. And he said high-ranking military officials considered the UFO mystery to be serious business. The paper trail revealed via FOIA request documents how military leaders knew that UFOs were real and not fictitious, that they were metallic craft capable of incredible maneuvers far beyond any known technology we have on Earth, and that there was a disturbing number of incidents where UFOs seemed to demonstrate an intense interest in our military assets, in particularly nuclear weapons, and if this is not a matter of national security, then what is? Knapp is not alone in sharing these concerns. Also testifying at Congress was investigative journalist Jeremy Corbell, who said UFOs are a major concern and may have us outgunned. He said UAP have proven that they can operate with impunity within our airspace. This is occurring almost every day, often within our restricted airspace. This is what he wrote in his testimony. And most alarmingly, UAP witnesses, documented and often captured on corroborative multi-platform defense sensors and targeting systems while displaying the capability to outpace, outmaneuver, and outperform our most advanced military weaponry or any other known technologically advanced terrestrial nation's military inventory and private industry holdings. So this technology that the UFOs have is to be found nowhere on Earth. Fighting for UFO transparency from the government, the issue of UFOs and UAPs captivated public attention for decades, but for years the US government has kept silent on the issue. The reason for this is believed to be that UFOs are security concerns rather than scientific issues, which means they need to be kept classified. But circumstances changed in recent years, with Congress holding multiple hearings on the subject and NASA even launching an official investigation task force into UAPs. While this in part may have been motivated by reports of the Chinese spy balloons back in February, the issue soon ballooned out from a geopolitical security issue to reports of other, far stranger, unidentified flying objects. Back in July, former Navy pilot Ryan Graves, joined by retired U.S. Navy Commander David Fravor and former Air Force Intelligence Officer David Grush, who all testified regarding the U.S. government's knowledge of mysterious flying objects. The technology that we faced was far superior to anything we had, Fravor said, of the alleged sighting he made in 2004. Grush added that non-human pilots have been recovered by the U.S. government throughout their UFO research, though he said he did not have a first-hand account of any non-human alien sightings, and that his claims are based on extensive interviews with high-level intelligence officials. Back in April, declassified UFO data shared by Sean Kirkpatrick, who heads the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office AARO to study UFOs. He noted that there were around 650 incidents being tracked by the agency. One of these incidents was dated July 12, 2022, which depicted a U.S. military MQ-9 Reaper drone somewhere in the Middle East. In the footage, it can be seen monitoring a strange metallic silver orb-like object flying around below it at seemingly very high speeds while the drone's camera tries to follow it. However, it is not the only time this particular UFO had been seen. Apparently, there have been many other sightings of a strange flying metallic orb in the Middle East. The subject has also become more interesting for scientists, with a study published earlier this year indicating over a third U.S. academics are interested in searching UFOs, while a large minority, 19%, have either witnessed or know someone who has witnessed UAPs. And chief among them is Israeli-American astrophysicist Avi Loeb, former head of Harvard's astronomy department. Back in 2021, Loeb launched the Galileo project, which aims to bring the search for alien life purely into the science sector. Since its founding, the project has grown to have millions in funds and has amassed a long list of academics from around the world. Another prominent researcher in Stanford University, Professor Gary Nolan, despite not being an astrophysicist like Loeb, Nolan is best known as an immunologist. Nolan has been very active in the study of UFOs, UAPs, after his 2012 analysis of what's believed to be an alien corpse found in Chile. This later progressed to research to UAPs and how they impacted the brains of those who observed them. His work has seen him collaborate with government task forces, the CIA, and publish peer-reviewed articles about UFOs. So you can understand that these UFOs are a very, very major concern for all the countries around the world. At the recent SALT I Connections conference in New York, Nolan revealed that he thinks advanced and intelligent alien life has 100% not only already visited Earth, are still here and have been here for a long time. He means since antiquity. And this concern is now being repeated by U.S. lawmakers, many of whom are calling for data about UFOs to be shared with the public. We can't trust a government that does not trust its people, Representative Burchett, Republican Tennessee, said at a recent congressional hearing with both Democrats and Republicans calling for UFO records to be released. Corbell also urged for greater transparency and called for accountability for those who have kept this information hidden up until now. This decision may have been initially righteous, but has built and become an unregulated bureaucratic machine lacking a moral and ethical compass, he said. The reasons for secrets in the past are now antiquated and presumptuous. They contradict the fundamental tenets of a free and open society. And he said that the current system the U.S. military has for reporting UAP encounters is fundamentally flawed. The system analysis and information of UAP encounters, engagements, and sightings are too often swept under the rug or ignored for reasons of stigma or careerism, he said. And this is on WND and Jerusalem Post. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.